One of our other focuses, in addition to personal branding, is non-traditional careers. Careers that don't require a JD, perhaps whether, instead of it being a prerequisite, it's an asset to an organization or to a company. In your, in your, in your capacity working for Andrews Kurth, what are some of the key things that you're seeing maybe with non-traditional careers or just even in the practice of law?
Okay, those are really two separate questions, because at a law firm we obviously hire attorneys. Where I have seen difference is in their backgrounds. We have people that have selected the law as a second career. So they've been a teacher or a CPA or in the military or a doctor. A lot of our patent attorneys have MDs or PhDs. So there's a little bit of a difference I'm seeing in the backgrounds that they have and the way they present themselves. So they're more mature, they've been in the workplace, they have a much more focused approach to what they want to do with their law degree. But in the broader context, and this begins to describe a little bit of my career trajectory, I'm a labor and employment lawyer by background. And in the corporate world, you see a lot of JDs in human resources. You don't need a JD, or you don't need to be a practicing lawyer to be an HR professional, but a lot of people are, because a lot of HR is law. It's employment law, and it's complicated, and I found it very satisfying to work in a different facet of an organization. You have a lot more power, you have a lot more policy capability, decision making on the HR side. So I actually was an HR executive before joining here with the company Aramark, which is based in Philadelphia. And when we talk about non-traditional roles, I was in the C-suite of a company, and there were a handful of lawyers up there and 100 HR professionals. So I was able really to leverage my legal career, my legal background and practice in this HR role. And there are other examples of that in real estate or business where that JD and the experience of a lawyer can be very helpful. Where this comes together with the economy is there simply are more law school graduates than there are traditional law school jobs. And so the students coming out now, if they don't get that offer after their second year in a prominent law firm like ours, like Andrews Kurth, it doesn't mean you throw in the hat and become a doctor. It means that you really have to push harder. We're seeing more students work for judges, go after those clerkships and go after those internships. Think about whether there's smaller firms that you can go into. Teaching is a great field right now. Some people are traveling. Some people are doing Teach for America. The one thing that a JD will demonstrate is tenacity, intelligence. I mean, you will stack up much better side by side than obviously someone with just a bachelor's degree. And while I never recommend that people go to law school unless they want to practice law, because it is a lot of work, if you find yourself about to graduate and you don't have that traditional job offer waiting for you in a law firm, it means that you just have to try a little bit harder. You have to think outside the box. You have to network. You have to use all of these skills that you have, find your passion, and begin to really think differently about what you can do. Because if you're competing against people who don't have a JD, you actually may be better positioned, because people will recognize the fact that you worked very hard, you're highly educated, you're smart, you're articulate, you're creative, you're good on your feet. There are all kinds of characteristics associated with students who've graduated from law school. And you just use those to your advantage.
Thank you. What are some of the key things that you think students need to be aware of? Following a little bit, well, merging the two of both the personal branding and the non-traditional careers. Once you've recognized your passion, what you're interested in, and you start to do the things necessary, you're networking, you're meeting the people who may be in the field of practice, and then you're applying for these non-traditional careers. What are some of the things that people are looking for in a firm, in an organization? I know you said tenacity, authenticity, those are a couple of things that you said, but what are some of the key things that our NBLSA members should really take to heart when presenting themselves?
Sure. Again, the authenticity means know your own story. And so what employers are looking for is people who are professional, who have integrity, who are hardworking, who have a good work ethic, meaning they will work until you get the job done. We are, as attorneys, perfectionists, and we're non-apologetic about that. If you ever say to yourself, oh, that's good enough, that could be the kiss of death. At any point when you're in school, and particularly when you're studying for the bar exam, you want to keep working and working and working. If you're writing a document, you want it perfect. It's not going to be perfect the first time out, and you want to do this editing and rewriting and all of that with zeal and energy. I mean, you're excited to do it. Oh, good, I get to do this work again. And it's the kind of thing that only lawyers kind of walk around with this as a shield of honor, that they're proud that they're going to be doing their work over again. But this is a characteristic that must show through in an interview or when you meet people. You must appear, your appearance must show that you're aware of yourself, that you try to do everything with perfection, that you're neat in appearance and in your habits, because that's what people will pay you to do. They will know, oh, Julie is going to pay attention to every last detail. We are detailed oriented, and no detail is too small. We don't mind that. We love it, as a matter of fact. So those are the subtle things, the nuances that we must be able to convey to outside people.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. One thing that we want to focus on, or that we want to ask you is, well, first and foremost, we thank you so much for your time and speaking with us here today with the NBLSA family. But we want to leave the NBLSA membership with one word from you, just one word, and maybe you can expound upon it, but just one word that you want to give to the NBLSA membership that might sum up, I mean, I guess not everything about the legal experience, but one thing that you think is critical for them to think about as they go about their preparation for bar prep, schooling, and then entering the legal profession.
Yeah. There is one word, and that's practice. And it's going to sound redundant, because that's what we're all trying to do is practice. We want to practice law. But practice means you do something over and over and over again until you get it right. And I think back on taking the bar exam. The first time I did it 20-some years ago, and about 5 years ago I took 2 additional ones because I was going after a job and nothing was going to get in my way. So I did everything that many of you are about to do. It is hard work, but taking practice exams over and over again until you get it right. When you are working on a speech or working on a summary of a document, you want to practice it. You want to write it over and over again until you get it right. And if you're confident in what you're doing and you know that you want to deliver a perfect product, then you won't mind the practice. I think where we hurt ourselves is when we try to shortchange things. We look for shortcuts. We look for the quick way out. As attorneys, that could get us in a lot of trouble. That could get us in ethical trouble.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, if we just make sure we remember, they call it practice for a reason, because we're going to always keep trying to do better and better and better, and we will achieve in that regard.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We just want to thank our esteemed guest speaker this evening, Ms. Elizabeth Campbell, Chief Diversity Officer for Andrews Kurth in Houston, Texas. NBLSA family, we thank you for joining us today. Please leave us your comments, your thoughts, and we appreciate you being with us today. Thank you.